Hello and welcome back to another doujinshi review from White Album 2. Today we're going to be taking a look at another one by Maribu Pine. Maribu Pine has done so many White Album 2 doujins, and they're all art doujins too, so very impressive as an artist to keep up the motivation to continuously release more and more doujinshi. So, as you can see, this cover has Kazusa. Kazusa is wearing a wedding dress. It's more like wedding lingerie, honestly, but it is really pretty. What I do really like about this cover, which the artist did, is the texture here on her veil is really interesting. It doesn't quite fit in with the rest of the art. Like, it just looks entirely overlaid. It's not shaded in the same way. The line art is clearly very different. And so it just makes for an interesting composition in the cover here, but really cute. And this is White Album 2, Kazusa Toma True and Afterstory. Now this is rated 18 and up. We will be skipping over some of the explicit scenes, but we'll show what we can because it's kind of an interesting concept here. So obviously this takes place directly after as Kazusa and Haruki are getting married, I should say. Not quite after, but it tells the story of what is happening. So we start out, Haruki is sleeping and Kazusa tries to wake him up and says, hey, like, don't you want to, be with me in an adult way? And he says no. He says he's too tired, which is a very Haruki thing to say. But eventually she is able to convince him. And we're going to skip ahead just a teeny bit because you can imagine what takes place there. And then we come to the afterword. So it's not quite that long, that many pages. And then we come back to the story itself, and the happiness doesn't last very long because they get onto the tough subject of Kazusa's mother being ill. And one of the things that Haruki mentions is like, hey, we've been so lazy. We've been just cooped up in the house. We really need to get back to working because your mom is sick and we need more money. And the moment money is brought up, Kazusa gets extremely angry about it. And she's like, why do we need money? We have enough money. Like, I said I would support you. Why are you even worrying about all this? I mean, which is valid, to be fair. It's never an easy conversation to have, especially as young as they are. But Haruki is and will continue to be a realist. So talking about Kazusa's mother's illness and how it's a very real thing, about how health insurance is only going to cover so much. And that Kazusa really needs to get back to putting on performances with her piano skills in order to raise money for her mother because she is the daughter. And that's kind of her responsibility. That's kind of what Haruki was saying here. And he's right, but I could see Kazusa's hesitance at the same time. But the good thing about their relationship at this point is that Kazusa is like inspired by Haruki and by his words, and she really takes it to heart to the point where Haruki is actually a little bit surprised at how well she takes it. So as you can see on the left, she gets back and starts playing the piano, and Haruki is just amazed and enamored with her, which I love. I mean, I love it when they're not constantly fighting. And even though they did get into a little bit of a quarrel, it was kind of for a good reason here. So after this, we skip ahead a little bit more because of the content. And it skips ahead. It does briefly mention here about Haruki speaking to Kazusa's mom in private about this whole charade at the school where he's going to propose and everyone's going to be able to be there and see it, and it's adorable. If you've read the Afterstory here, it's just really well done. And so this is the manga version of that Afterstory, of when they actually have the mini reception, I should say. Kazusa in her wedding dress is so adorable. Really, really cute. And obviously Haruki compliments her. She gets a little bit embarrassed. And it wouldn't be a White Album 2 doujin if it didn't mention the jealousy of Setsuna, so it is briefly brought up. But Haruki does end up reassuring her. They have their moment. You may kiss the bride. And of course, directly after that, Kazusa's mom pops in and says, no, I missed it. You have to do it again. You have to start over one more time. And Takeya arrives. I love Takeya. I love Io. I'm glad that Haruki has these two friends. They've always kind of put him in his place. As nosy and awkward as it's been, it's nice to be able to see them. And Takeya kind of compliments him on everything. Despite everything you've gone through, you ended up here, and he's proud of him. And then after the official ceremony, Kazusa and Haruki end up doing as adults would do after the wedding, and we're going to skip over that to get to the end. So here, a really adorable picture of Kazusa with her pudding. I do love this. Again, many thanks from Maribu Pine at the end here. They do mention wanting to go to Comiket 99. 99, it has been postponed for a year now. Usually it's held twice a year, and the last few times it's been canceled. So the hope is this coming December of 2021, there'll be a Comiket comic convention in which they will be able to attend. And so fingers crossed that we can make that happen. This was released in August 8th, 2021. You can see Maribu Pine's Twitter and Pixiv there as well. And then we come to the end of our doujinshi. So, thank you so much for joining me on today's doujinshi review. I will be reviewing more White Album 2 doujinshi in the future, so I hope to see you then. And until then, I hope you take care. See you!